But first tonight, there are growing conversations around the need for housing. Public housing is set up to help people get back on their feet.
Right, but a new post online says President Trump wants people who get help to be on a really strict timeline. 2 Wants to Know's Ben Briscoe verifies.
Post online viewed by thousands of people say President Donald Trump wants to cap the time able-bodied adults can live in public housing at 2 years. To verify if that's true, I went to these sources. A letter the White House sent to Congress, the White House Office of Management and Budget, and the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. In May, the White House sent this letter to the Senate Appropriations Committee with President Donald Trump's budget proposals. Part of that reads, this budget would also newly institute a 2-year cap on rental assistance for able-bodied adults, and would ensure a majority of rental assistance funding through the states would go to the elderly and disabled. Spokesperson for the White House Office of Management and Budget confirmed the plan, writing, after decades of failure and bureaucratic bloat in D.C., the budget contains long overdue reforms to finally fix our broken federal housing policy and ensure that assistance goes to those who need it most. But the National Low-Income Housing Coalition worries that's not what the change will do.
It ignores the reality that people are simply not paid enough to make ends meet and to afford the cost of rent. And a 2-year time limit is simply not enough time for somebody who, say, was experiencing homelessness and is now stably housed and has, a decent job to obtain that economic self-sufficiency.
Right now, it's still a proposal, but we can verify President Donald Trump wants to cap the time able-bodied adults can live in public housing at 2 years. For a little perspective on how this would impact the triad, in Winston-Salem, there were almost 2,000 people who lived in public housing, and the average length of stay is 5.5 years. That's about the same as the national average found by the Department of Housing and Urban Development.